Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to the ASM Technologies Limited Q2 FY26 earnings conference call. As a
Ladies
reminder,
and
all
gentlemen, good
participant
morning
lines
and
will
welcome
be
to
in
the
the
Australian
listen-only mode,
Premium
and
Solar
there will be an
India
opportunity
Limited
for you to
H1
ask questions
FY26
after the
conference call
presentation concludes.
hosted by Confidely Partner.
Should you need
As a
assistance
reminder, all
during the conference
participants'
call,
line will
please
be
signal an
in
operator
listen
by
only
pressing
mode
star then
and
zero
there
on
will
your
be an
touchtone phone.
opportunity for you to ask the
Please note that
questions.
this conference
After
is
the
being recorded.
presentation concludes,
I now
please
hand the
note that this
conference over
conference is
to
being recorded. Before we
Mr.
begin, I would like
Ravinder
to point out that this
Srikantan,
conference call
Managing Director of
may
ASM
contain
Technologies
forward-looking
Limited, for
statements
opening remarks.
about the
Thank you and over
company,
to you, sir.
which are based on the
Thank
belief,
you very much.
opinion, and
A
expectation
very
of
good
the
afternoon to
company
everybody and a very
as
warm
of the date
welcome
of this
to
call.
ASM
This
Technologies
statement do not
Limited
guarantee the future
Q2
performance of the
FY26
company,
earnings
and
call.
it may
I'm joined
involve
today
risks
by
and
members of our senior leadership
uncertainties
team, Mr.
that
Renan
are difficult
Rathod,
to
our
predict.
CFO,
I would
Mrs. Vanishri Kulkarni, our
now like
company
to hand over
secretary.
the floor
We
to
have
Mr. Parth
Mr.
from
Rajesh,
Confidely
our
Partner.
finance head,
Thank you, and
and
over
we
to
have
you,
SGA,
Parth.
our investor relations advisor. As
Thanks,
this is our
Krishan.
first call,
Good
I'll
morning,
start
ladies
with a
and
very short
gentlemen.
introduction of
This
our
is
company,
Parth from
our
Confidely
various business
Partners.
segments, and then
We
move on to our
represent the
financial
investor
performance.
relations for
So
Australian
we are
Premium
about 30
Solar
years
India
ago. We were
Limited.
founded about 3
On
decades
behalf
ago.
of Confidely
And over the
Partners,
years,
I
we have
warmly
grown
welcome
into a
you all
leading
to H1
end-to-end engineering
FY26 earnings
R&D,
call of
ER&D, and
Australian
a design-led
Premium Solar
manufacturing,
India
which is
Limited.
called
The
DLM,
company will be
company,
represented by
providing
Mr.
solutions
Nikunj
across the
Patel, who's
entire
the
product life
Chairman and
cycle from
Executive
concept
Director,
design to
and Mr.
engineering
Kalpesh Vakharia, who's the
using
Chief
precision
Financial Officer
manufacturing.
of the company.
When we say
Now,
precision
I would
manufacturing, we
like
are
to
not
hand over
into
the call
mass
to Mr.
manufacturing. Everything we
Nikunj
do
ji.
is very custom
Thanks, and
and
over to
relatively
you,
complex
Nikunj
and
sir.
high precision. This is
Thank you
something
very
which
much, dear.
differentiates us.
Yeah.
We serve customers across the globe
Good
in the US,
morning, everyone.
UK, Singapore,
We are
Japan,
very
and
pleased
many
to
other
report the strong
geographies.
performance of
We
the
operate from 4
financial year
manufacturing facilities,
result for first
one
half
in
of this
Babuspet
year.
in Karnataka,
It reflects the
second one in
strength of our
Sriperumbudur in
business
Tamil
model
Nadu,
and
and 2
also
in
the growing
Chennai.
demand for the
Apart from
renewable
that, we have 6
energy within
global
our
development
country.
centers and 10
Despite we
offices
had
across the
some
globe.
GST
We
regulation
broadly
challenges
operate
for
in
3
2 business
weeks
verticals.
and also
One
the
is
better
the high-tech
monsoon,
segment,
which
and the
makes
other is
challenges
broadly
in
in the
execution of
engineering
the
segment.
project. We have come up with the strong
In the high-tech segment,
figures for this
we
quarter.
we
The
specialize
key
in providing
milestone
systems, subsystems, precision
up to
parts
now is we
for
have
complex
successfully
equipment,
commissioned 400
mainly
megawatt
for the
TOPCon line
semiconductor
within a
equipment,
time limit
consumer
on this
electronics equipment,
lab
industrial
Pacham
electronics, and solar equipment.
before 2 weeks ago.
Industries in
That
this
will make the
vertical, as
total
we know, are
capacity
undergoing
400
global supply
megawatt
chain
TOPCon and
realignment,
400 megawatt
while
Monopuck.
with India
So
rapidly
total it
emerging
will
as
be
the
800
preferred
megawatt
design and
facility. The
manufacturing hub.
further 400
We see
megawatt
this
facility
transformation
will
coming
be
alive
we are
with
expecting
significant investments
to
being made
start
in India
before
by
the
both global
within the
leaders
first
and the Indian government.
quarter of the
Our deep
next
engineering
financial year
expertise
between
strategically positions us as a
April
critical
to June.
partner to global
The
OEMs
overall
looking to localize
in first
high-value
quarter of
manufacturing.
the next financial year,
In
our
this
total
regard, we
capacity
also
will
have
be
set up a joint
800
venture
plus
called
400,
ASM
1.2
HEG
gigawatt.
to focus
If
on
we
the
see
solar
the
equipment segment,
growth as per
and
the
we are well on
segments we are
track,
working
and we
on,
expect
the
to
solar
start
pump
doing some
segment
amount of
is
delivery
showing the
later
continuous
this year.
momentum, and we are expecting
In the
35 to 40%
transportation
revenue
sector
from
or
this
engineering
segment
sector,
for
we
this
again work
financial
both on
year
the ER&D
with
and the
the
DLM.
expected margin.
Here our focus is industrial
Currently,
and
we have
large
got
vehicles and
approval
off-highway
from the
vehicles.
10
Here again
different
we work
states
with
from the
global
local
OEMs
government
and next
agency.
generation
Our
companies
EPC
for
division
mobility and for engineering.
also growing their C&I
Across both our
segment,
verticals,
not
that is the
only in
high-tech
Gujarat
and the
but also in
engineering,
Maharashtra
we
and
use a
Rajasthan, and we
significant
are
amount of
expecting
industrial
15
AI.
to
This is our
20% growth
digital
from our
layer to
EPC
enhance
division.
operational
Our
outcomes
wholesale
and drive
distribution
efficiency. We use some
also
proprietary AI frameworks to
expanding
increase our yield,
from Gujarat,
throughput
Rajasthan, and
for performance
Maharashtra
monitoring
to
and for predictive
Madhya
maintenance.
Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Haryana, and South
We are very
India.
consciously
We are
investing
expecting
in infrastructure,
50% revenue
people,
from
and
this division
capacities
for
to
this
meet
financial year.
our growing
As
demand.
said earlier,
We have
overall we are
recently signed
expecting
an MOU with the
75%
government of
plus
Karnataka to
CAGR for
invest
this year
510
and
crores to
coming year.
expand our
We
ER&D
are
focused DLM and
advancing
precision
our
engineering capabilities.
backward
We have
integration
also signed an MOU with
initiative
the
to
government of
further
Tamil Nadu
maintain our
to invest 250 crores
profitability
to
and
further
increase the
enhance our
revenue
DLM capacity.
long term by adding 4 gigawatt solar
Once
cell
operational,
manufacturing
these
facility.
facilities will significantly
First phase
enhance our
will be 1
capacity,
gigawatt
supporting growth in both our verticals.
machinery,
Now moving Moving on to our
requires
financial
900 to
performance,
950
we are pleased to
crores
report a
capex.
quarter of strong
Once
growth
again,
and
thank you
margin
very much
expansion.
for everyone's time. And now
Our
I hand over the
Q2 for
floor
this current
to
fiscal,
our,
our
my
revenue has
colleague
grown by
Kalpesh Vakharia as
171%
CFO
year-over-year.
for Australian Premium
The
Solar.
strong growth has been driven by
Thank you,
execution
Kalpesh.
across both our segments.
Thank you so
EBITDA
much,
was 31 crores
ladies and
against
gentlemen,
7
for
crores,
attending our
with margins at
investor con call.
19.7%,
I, Kalpesh
supporting
Vakharia, would like
supported
to
by
take
operating
you
leverage
through the
and an
financial
improved
highlights
mix.
for the first half of
PAT was around
FY26.
19 crores, growing
Our
from
total
2
income
crores
stood at
year-on-year.
brilliant
In terms of our
302.93
half-yearly
CR
performance,
compared to
6-month performance,
164.24
revenue
CR in
stood at
half
about
1
277
FY25,
crores
which
compared
is
to
a strong
110
growth of
crores during the
84.5%
H1
year-on-year.
of the last financial year,
EBITDA increased by
FY25, a growth of
121.9% to
153% year-on-year.
43.28 CR.
EBITDA was
With EBITDA
56
margin
crores
also
with a
improving to
margin of
14.29% from
20.3%. PAT stood at
11.88%
35
last
crores
year,
compared to 5 crores in
primarily
the same
driven by
period
higher
last year.
operating leverage and improved product mix.
DLM
PAT grew
contributed to 63% of
118.7%
total
to
revenue, while our
28.60 crore,
ER&D accounted
with
for
PAT margin expanding
37%.
by 148 basis points to
CapEx for the
9.44%.
half year stood at about 11
Our earning per
crores,
share
and the
also
net cash
increased for
position
half
was
one
77 crores as
FY26
of
stood at
September 2025.
14.19, up from
We
6.63
believe
in the
that we
same
can
period last
continue
year.
the growth momentum in the
On the
second
balance
half of
sheet
the
front,
year.
the company continues to
And
maintain a healthy
I would
financial
also like
position
to add
with
a
a
few
net
points.
debt to equity
First of
ratio
all,
of just
again, once again, thank all of you
0.05
for
as of
joining the
September
call.
2025,
And
reflecting our prudent
we
capital
would,
management and
and we are now open for
strong cash
questions.
generation.
We would
The
like to
commissioning of our new
mention a
400
few
megawatt
things.
TOPCon
One,
line
we
during the
will not take up any
October
customer
month
names, so we
marks a key
request
capacity milestone
all
and
the
is
speakers
expected to
to
further
refrain
strengthen
from
our top
referring
line
to any
and
customer
margin
names,
performance in the
which will
coming
be very
quarters.
speculative for us.
We fully remain
And also,
committed
we
to
will refrain
maintaining
from any
strong financial
guidance.
discipline while supporting our next phase of growth, including the upcoming solar cell manufacturing
And
project.
these are some of the things,
Thank you
and we
so
will
much
not give any,
for listening to me, and
forward-looking
you can
guidance.
now
And
just
please
bring
to
on your
avoid
questions,
any
whatever you have to us.
customer-specific
Thank
or
you so much.
account-specific details. So with this, it's open for Q&A. We request you to go ahead.
Thank you very much. We will now
Participants who
begin
would
the
like to
question and
ask the
answer
questions
session.
may raise their
Anyone
hands.
who wishes to ask a question may press star and one on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and two. Participants are requested to use
Mr. Raman,
handsets while
please
asking a
unmute
question.
yourself and introduce
Ladies and
yourself.
gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question
Hello,
queue
sir. Can
assembles.
you
The
hear
first
me?
question is from the line of
Yes.
Nilesh Jain from ST
So, hi, sir. I'm
Investment
Naman from
Management.
Sequent
Please proceed.
Investment. I have a few
Hi,
questions with
thank you for the
respect to the company.
opportunity and
What's our current order
congratulations
book?
for a great quarter.
Raman,
My first
as we
question is,
said
want to
earlier as
understand
well,
on the
we are working
manufacturing
in a three
side,
segment. One is our
which
pump segment,
industry has
where we have a
helped us
fixed
to
order for
drive this
the
growth
next 2
for
to 4
the,
months.
at least for the first half.
In
If you can, share by
distribution,
industry, for at least on the
we have a
manufacturing side.
66
Sure.
distributor.
Thank you very much.
We take
And
every month
for
order.
us,
Because
we are not
there's
providing
always a
specific
fluctuation of
segmentation.
15 to
For us,
20
both high-tech and the
paisa
engineering segment
in
have
per
contributed to
watt
the
in
increase in
the
our DLM. Right.
pricing.
Like
And
I
for
said,
our
we are in
retail,
all the four
we
segments
get
when it comes to
everyday order.
high-tech. It is
So for solar
semiconductor,
pump,
solar, consumer
uh,
and industrial electronics,
our
all of them
order
have
book is
contributed, and also on the engineering segment.
300,
It's been across all
310
these
crores
segments.
at the moment.
Sure.
Okay, which will be
Second question
executed over
is,
the next 4 months,
if you can
if my
share the
understanding is
CapEx
right.
plan for at
For
least
4 to 6 months.
FY26 and
Okay.
FY27.
And then
sir,
other division is
Okay,
we
and I'm
just
going to
do as
request
it comes.
Rajesh to answer
okay.
that. And just please to speak up,
So,
you're a little
I just
feeble.
want to understand the
What you said.
capacity.
Yes.
Yeah, hi.
You said you have the old
This
capacity of 400
25-26,
monopoke and now
we have
400
CapEx
popcorn. But
addition will
I
be
think
another
when we
30 to 35
by the
crores,
end of Q1 we
minimum
already
what
had
we are
600
expecting. And
megawatt
it may
capacity,
go
right?
up
Yes,
depending on
yes.
the
On
That
that
time,
whatever the MOI
yes,
you
signed.
added
We
400
are
more in
discussing with
October,
yes,
which takes the
government
yes,
for the
capacity to
allotment of the land.
1 gigawatt.
If the land
yes.
comes through, this
In
CapEx will
month
go
of
up
March, when we had a
depending on
600, we had a
the
400
availability of the land, allotment of the
monopark
land.
and 200 megawatt poly capacity.
And for
Okay.
FY27?
So the poly capacity now
FY 26, 27, we are still working on it, depending on
we just
the
sold
land
those
availability.
machinery. So
We are
now
going
we
to
have
plan
400 megawatt
our
monopark
next
and 400 megawatt
development.
TOPCon facility, because for
Sure. My
poly
third question
panels
is
there is
on
not
the MOU which you
in a
have
demand
shared.
overall.
Can you broadly talk about the timelines and how would be about the
Yes,
funding
Raman.
Can everything?
And how much did you sold it? Sold this
Yeah, I can
200
answer that.
megawatt of poly
So,
capacity?
like
No, no, no.
Rajesh
It's
said,
just
both the MOUs are
disassemble
signed. We are in the
and
process of
dismantle and
acquiring
sold,
the
because
land. So
always 30
timeline-wise, it will be
40%
about the next
of the
18 to
machinery
24
we
months
can utilize
is what we are
in
planning
existing
once the land is
facility,
acquired.
but like only
And
the
in terms of
And
funding,
tabor
that was
machine,
the second
which
question.
we
Funding
cannot
will be a
use. So
combination of
usually we have
accruals,
to dismantle and
combination
sell
of
it to
some
the
debt, and we needed some additional
weight
equity.
metal price.
And we also have some
You got revenue in front of
potential
that, like
incentives,
if my understanding is
both at
right. So I'm just
from the
asking
central
how much
government
did you
and different state governments.
dismantled it and sold the
sure. And
unusable?
then last question is,
That will be,
we have been
as
seeing
I said,
a
it's at
lot of
metal price, means at
multinational companies
scrap
setting
price,
up
but I can
R&D centers in
check
India
and
through
let you know.
GCC. How
It
do you
won't be
see
much,
competition
Okay.
maybe less than 50
for a
lakhs.
design?
Can you repeat? Your voice is very
Okay,
patchy.
understood, sir.
What did you say?
And so
Last part?
I just
How
want
do
to
you think?
understand, we
How do
operate
you
in
see
three divisions: pump
competition from them
segment,
on the design side?
distribution, and retail.
There's a
In
lot
pump
of
segment, we just do EPC, right?
multinational companies are setting up
We don't
GCC in India
manufacture
for their
pumps
R&D
and all
center.
that stuff.
No,
Got
no.
it. Got it. We understand. Okay.
Because
So
in pump,
we don't necessarily, I mean,
pump
GCCs are growing
segment,
in a big way.
50%
For us,
cost is from solar
ER&D,
panel,
we have two things. One is we
10%
have
cost is
ER&D
from
as
the
a
pump,
business. Also, our
and the
ER&D supports our
10% cost
DLM.
from the
So what you would have seen over the years, we are
mounting
pivoting
systems
very
like
rapidly to
metal,
DLM. And
and
for that, the ER&D is a very,
10%
very
soft cost
key
like
part of the DLM
installation,
initiative.
transportation,
So that's kind of where
10
we
to
are heading.
15%, 10 to
Okay,
15%,
sure. I like that
including
industry.
sales commission and everything,
Sure.
and remaining is the margin. So
Thank you. The
overall,
next
the
question
pump
is from the line of
manufacturing can
Meet
give
from
only
Nivishai. Please proceed.
contribute up to 10%.
Yes, sir. Hi, Rabindra ji and team. Congratulations
Yeah,
on
I
a
understood
strong set
that,
of
but I
numbers.
just want to
But we are
Kudos to
not
everyone
doing
for achieving
We are
such
not
great
doing that.
milestone in the
Yeah, I
last
just want to
32 years.
understand,
Wishing you a continued success.
out of this segment, you
Sir,
do
Meet
mounting
is
and
shifting
installation,
towards the
right?
manufacturing, right? So
No, we do
58%
the
of the
panel
revenue
supply
from
as well.
manufacturing H1
Panel supply, mounting, and
FY26 versus
installation.
12% in
Yes, and
H1
that project
FY25.
comes
So
as a
it is
tendered
lagging the gross margin a
So
bit.
the
So
pump only we
and service is
purchase
not the
from the
growth driver
partners.
for this
So
quarter.
this has a
There is a slight degrowth in the
gross margin.
revenue
This
also
segment has
and
a gross
much
margin
more
of around,
decline in
let's say,
margin.
60 to 70%.
So just sir, just want to
How come?
understand, could you explain what
Because you're
we should
supplying
expect for
solar panels
FY26
as well
and
as you're doing
FY27
mounting
between
and
manufacturing
installation
and
as well
service?
as you're
And
doing
based
the
on
project
needs, what
execution
kind
part.
of margin profile we
Yeah,
should
so
expect?
if we, it's not 60
Okay,
to
no, thank you very much.
70%. The gross, the
Like I
margin
said, we're not
we
giving
are
any
expecting
forward
from
guidance,
pump division is
but one
12
of
to
the things is,
15%.
as we've seen over the
Yes, sir.
years, we are very
So 12 to
progressively moving into
15% is margin,
DLM.
because the
I think
panel
that momentum will continue. We
have a
will be
cost,
having
the
more and
mounting
more
have a
DLM.
cost,
That is where all our
the
bigger
installation have a
investments are
cost,
going in.
the
And for
transportation
that,
have a
we will
cost.
also continue to
So
invest in our
there is,
ER&D.
and this
So
is a
that's,
service
so
business.
we
In service
expect right
business,
now the
the
momentum is
margin is
very
always
robust
15%
in both
Understood
the
that.
product
verticals
with
we
service.
operate in, both the high tech and the engineering.
And so my last question
Right.
is with respect
So
to your
we
retail
expect this
division.
kind of
In retail,
momentum
we are
to
selling
continue. And
solar
today,
water
given
pumps and
that
I think
there's a
solar
lot
grid
of friend
inverters,
shoring and there's a lot of
if I'm right.
interest
In
to
retail, we sell
for
the
a
solar
lot of global
panel and the
companies to
grid
both
inverter, not
sell into
the
India and
solar
also
solar water pump
develop
for
from
the
India. We expect this
Kusum
momentum
projects.
to
But
Okay.
yes,
continue in
we
the
can, when we
medium
say
term.
pump division, the solar pump
So
we
like sir,
consider
if the
as
momentum
a
continues to
pump
increase,
division. In retail division,
we will
grid
maintain the
inverter and solar
EBITDA
panel.
range of
And
70% or there will
kit.
be lower EBITDA.
Like
Like
in kit,
last
there
quarter we
is
have done the 60 crore in the
mounting
manufacturing side and
systems
this
and
quarter was
also
very
some
good, 3 to 95 crore,
electrical
right?
kit
So
as well.
still,
So
what kind of
yeah,
margin
my
profile, at
question
least
is
could
with
you give a
respect to
range,
this
if any not specific
solar
number?
grid
I
inverter.
also agree
Are
that
we
you cannot share the
manufacturing
guidance,
it
but any range would be
in-house, or
helpful, sir.
are we
Range
outsourcing the
also we will
manufacturing
not be
of
able to
the
share,
solar
but
grid
let us
inverter?
say that the
We
last
out
3 quarters or
for
last
now we
3 quarters
outsource.
are
And
quite
yeah, is there any
representative.
plan
So we'll have
for
to kind of
Okay.
use that
starting
as
our
a reference.
manufacturing?
Because just
It
for
is
everybody's benefit, this is
in
something,
a
I mean,
planning.
some of you have met us in earlier calls
Okay.
and all that.
Thank you, sir.
This is something
Yes,
we have
sir.
very
Yes,
consciously
thank you.
worked for the last 8 years, where we
Mm-hmm.
moved from a
Thank you,
pure
Raman.
ER&D to start getting into DLM.
Before we proceed further,
And in
Nikunj,
between,
there
we
is
had 2
one
years of
question in the
COVID.
chat.
So a lot of this work
It's from
started 8
Kunal
years
Patel.
ago,
So
and
his
we've
question is,
invested, we
what
have
can be
grown, we
combined
have
revenue
got
of
a
1
lot of
gigawatt
traction into
solar
DLM. And now
module and 1
slowly those
gigawatt
things are
solar
beginning
cell
to
after
they're
December
playing out, and it's more visible
2026
in the last few
when we
years.
commence that cell manufacturing
Understood,
in
understood. So
Q4
second question would be, sir,
FY27.
also what is your view on the
The cell
competition, specifically like
manufacturing
more
takes
global players
18 to
wanting to
20
us
months
in
just
India
to
and
start.
manufacture this equipment, right?
So
So is
it
there any
will
chance,
up
and
and
these
running
players are making much
on
more critical machinery, and
27th
maybe
after
we are
June
also developing these
27th.
kind of machines.
But
And
1 gigawatt solar
so
panel,
is there any
we
chance
can
of losing the
expect
our
a
share in terms of market share,
1200
or
to
what's your view on the
14
competition?
1200 crores turnover from
So
the solar
we've
panel
been working
manufacturing
in
and
this
remaining
segment
from
for many
the
years, for about
projects.
20 years. It is just
Say
that
like
we
when we
pivoted
do
from
the
pure ER&D
EPC,
to DLM. So
that
this is
segment always give 3
industry-wise,
times more
business-wise,
than
is
the
not new to us.
or
It
at
is
least
just that we have
double
started scaling
turnover than the
into
solar panel.
DLM.
When do we do
So
pump? It's
India will continue to
2.5
grow.
times.
This is
So
the
overall,
fastest growing
once
economy, large
we as a
economy in the world
APS
today.
have a
We
1
will expect
gigawatt
more and more
facility and
players,
up and
and with
running,
that we will grow, and so
at
will
full
others.
12 months, we
So
can expect about
we expect the entire
1500 to
both our verticals
1800
to
crores
significantly
turnover.
scale in the coming years.
Understood. And sir, when one should expect the scaling in semiconductor equipment manufacturing side? Matlab like
Kalyan
maybe
K,
50,
please
100 crores
introduce
scaling in
yourself.
manufacturing from semiconductor equipments.
Am I
Like I said,
audible?
we are not giving
Yes,
segment-wise
you are.
information.
Good morning.
So
Okay,
Good morning,
okay,
sir.
okay.
for us,
Sorry,
First
sorry.
of all,
DLM will
congratulations
continue
for
to
a
scale.
very
We've
good set
seen
of
the
numbers
change over the
and
years, over the
Thank you
quarters.
very much.
So we will
consistency
continue
growth
to
you are
be
showing.
more DLM
So I
going
think
forward.
you are the one of the best management I
Okay,
have seen
okay.
in this
And sir,
stock market
one last
Sorry to
question.
interrupt, Mr.
because
B. May we
every
request
time
you
you
to
are
join the
doing
question queue?
surprises without raising the debit.
Okay,
That
thank
is
you so
a
much.
key point that I am
Thank you.
liking very, very, very much
Ladies and gentlemen,
regarding
in
your
order to
management
ensure that
qualities.
the management is
So
able
even
to
Thank
after
you,
answer
ma'am.
doing so
questions
much
from
of
all participants
capex,
in the queue,
still our
please
debit levels
limit your
are
questions to
very,
two
very
per
low, almost
participant.
nil, I think.
The next
Yes,
question
So
is
that's
from
first
what
the
of all,
line of
on
Raj Sharat Agarwal from
on
CD
this
Shah
front,
Family Office.
I wish to
Please proceed.
congratulate you, sir, and your
Thank you
team.
very much.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Congratulations on good set
Sir,
of
I
numbers.
wish to ask you a couple of
Sir, I
questions.
have two
First question is
questions.
regarding our
Sir,
capex and
we have
everything.
committed big
So
capex
you are
in
having a very,
Karnataka and
very,
Tamil
very
Nadu.
excellent
Just wanted to
vision.
broadly understand,
So very good,
out of this
very short
750
period
crores
of
that we have
time,
committed,
you will
how much would
become
be,
the one of the
incentives
manufacturers
and,
in TOPCon solar
land
cells.
provided by the government, and how
Okay, sir.
much would
But
we have to put
as
in
an
the business?
investor, in our company, what I
Okay.
Yes,
You
am
had
feeling
another
that
question? Or?
let us we are
can
a
I ask
little bit
after
lag
you answer this, please?
Okay,
in
sure,
going
sure.
for
Okay, thank you
capex.
very much. So
That I
broadly,
am
as
feeling why,
we are
because when compared
still
with our
working
other
out the
peers,
incentives which are
they're
available, but
already
as we
started
know,
the
there's
solar
about
cell
25%,
manufacturing
which is
plants,
publicly
and they are
announced by
likely
the
to
central
commission
government.
in the
And at the
in this
state government
financial year
level, there is
or the
an
next
additional
financial year, in the mid of the
25%.
next financial
So
year,
this is
most of the
definitely for
companies.
capex. In
So I
some
think
cases, it's for few other things.
somewhere we are
And
a little bit late on this
it's mainly for
front.
the machinery
That is
part.
my first
So
question.
we're in the
Second question,
process
sir.
of finalizing,
Yes.
our applications
So
at both the
you are
central level and
correct.
at the state level.
We
And we should know
initially
that
had
maybe in the
options
next
to
month or so
operate the solar cell
on how much should
facility
be
in other
incentive
state than
and how
Gujarat,
much should be our
but we
contribution.
as a management decided to stay in
Okay,
Gujarat
got it, sir.
and
Oh,
And
especially
second
near our
side, second question on
facility.
the solar
And
side.
we have find
We are
out some
doing
land
this work in our
almost 3 to
JVV.
4 months
So, are
ago,
you planning a
and
separate
our water
grant for this?
application
And
approvals is in a
how
process.
fast would be the ramp
So
up here?
until the because in solar
Just want to
cell
broadly understand
manufacturing,
your
the
thoughts on the solar
key
side.
things is the water
Sure. So
approvals
we
from the
have a
government.
separate plant
And
which
as
should
soon
be
as we
in
get
place
that,
in the next few months,
everything
and
else is
as a separate
line up
plant
and
for
tied
that.
up,
And
including
we
the
expect some of
banking,
the
including the key management
deliveries to
staff,
happen
including the
later
technical
this year
partners
or
overseas.
definitely
But
early part of
until
next
the
year, but
government
most probably
approval
later
doesn't
this
come,
year.
we have
Okay,
to
got
wait.
it, sir. So those are my
yes.
questions. Thank you so much,
And
sir.
we don't want to start
You're
in
welcome. Thank
other
you.
states because
Thank you.
most of our
The
staff
next question is from the
are
line of
in Gujarat,
Ayush
and
Agarwal, sir.
we are,
MAPL
of
Value
course, we
Investing
have a
Fund.
good
Please proceed.
management team, and we can do so
Good
much
afternoon, sir.
within
Thanks for the opportunity.
little
Sir,
capacity
in
or little
DLM,
capital,
within
but
the consumer
we don't want
electronics
to.
division, without
For
naming any
now,
customers or,
we
the value
think
of each
it's
and
better
everything,
we
would
work
just
in
like to
Gujarat
understand, the
or
scope
from
Okay,
of
okay,
Gujarat.
machinery that
okay, sir.
we are
Sir, my
currently doing,
my
number of
another question
machinery
is
that
that,
we are
sir,
doing,
so much,
and how
so
many do we plan
many
to
solar
add? If you can
companies
give some
planning for go for renewable energy, like
So we
they're
will not
going
be
for
able to quantify
hydrogen business
the
and
number
everything.
of machinery, but I can tell you
So
what kind of
like that,
machines
of
they are
course, it is a very, very
across
initial
our
stage, I
sectors,
think,
whether
even
it is
though
industrial,
whether you are
consumer,
planning for it
solar, or in
in the near
semiconductor.
future, anything like that for
We
clean
do a lot
hydrogen.
of automation related work, which includes
So
vision, which
you are
includes
correct.
robotics,
Hydrogen is
which
still
includes lasers,
not
and a lot of testing. All these
worldwide.
are all the different
Still, it's
areas
not
we cover
mature
across
technology, but
in the high tech.
definitely the battery
But we'll
energy
not be able to
storage. We have
quantify
our
and tell
eyes on
you
it.
it boils down
The
to
battery energy
segmentation, which
storage is
right now
getting
we have
matured.
agreements
If we
not
talk
to
about
disclose
in
some of this
Australia,
information.
say like from last 2 quarters,
Understood, sir. So
like
just,
I
trying
am
to
working in
understand the
Australian
scope
solar
of
industry
work.
since
So,
last 15 years,
typically,
and
Yes, sir.
given India
the solar
now is
battery
manufacturing a lot
means
of
battery systems
consumer
already
electronics,
started
including
getting
like
mature in
smartphones and other
Australia.
things.
So I'm expecting within 2 years,
So if you can help
not
us
maybe
understand
within 2 years,
whenever
earlier, I'm
any
expecting some good movement will
manufacturer,
start happening
smartphone
or
assembler is
already
putting
happen
up a
in
capacity,
India
whether it be the
as well.
$10 million line,
So
$50
whether we
million
are
line, whatever
going to
that
have
amount
some
is. Like,
interest on
are
that
we
front
catering
also,
to
sir?
10% of
Yes,
their
please.
needs,
We are
20% of
looking
their
into
needs?
it.
If you can
Oh, that's
comment
great. That's
something on
great.
that,
And
because that will
finally,
help
sir,
us understand how much of the
as we
value
are
chain we
seeing
are covering.
the results, year-on-year
That also
numbers
is
are
because
very,
let
very
me
excellent.
answer it in a
But
more broader
from
way.
last
If
two
you take
quarters,
the total
quarter-on-quarter numbers
addressable market,
slightly modest.
which is available to us across all our sectors,
Hope, I
it is
think
somewhere about, say,
recent
annually, and this is a global
capex
requirement, it's not
commissioning of
necessarily India, it would be at
module
least about
manufacturing
40
of 400
billion
megawatt.
per annum. Is the total addressable
That
market
might
by us,
increase the QOQ
and the
numbers
total
also in the
market
upcoming.
itself in
Can
the
I expect
segments
that, sir?
we play in is about 130,
Yes, you
140
can.
billion
And
globally. That is one
if
part.
we are
In the
already
40 billion
utilizing our
is where
facility
we
at
have
maximum level
capability
in
to
last
Yes.
quarter,
address some of it.
previous
So there
quarter.
are some
So
areas,
last
like I
quarter
said,
we
those
haven't
5,
had
6
a room
areas where
to
we are working
increase
on.
our,
We will continue to
production
do more and
capacity.
more of that,
And
and also add some
also
more adjacent capabilities
little
to
bit
that. So
GST
whether it
change
is
government announced on
opportunities in
4th.
India
So
or
between
outside
4th
India,
to
wherever in
22nd,
the world,
everybody
we should
was
be able to
hesitant
address
to
them.
take the
And
panels
by and
because the
large, what we
GST
do is
reduce
not
from
necessarily an India play.
almost
We work with a lot of global majors,
10
and with whom
reduce
we've
up to
been working for
5%.
quite some time.
And the other thing was because of the monsoon, some
So
projects
while I
order
understand
was
that,
already
we work
there,
with a lot of
but
global
they
customers,
couldn't
but
pick up the
majorly it is,
stock because of
as we segmented in
they
our
couldn't
quarterly
execute some
release,
projects,
is
But
that under
still,
DLM also it
overall,
is
with
majorly
help of
domestic. So even though
different
if they are global
segment and we
customers,
have a
we are supplying
diversification
to their
in
domestic
different
needs.
segments, we
So just,
achieve the same
if you
number
can
as the
segment
last
it further, like you have already
quarter.
segmented from the 130, 140 billion
And we
Then
opportunity,
what?
40
definitely,
billion is where we have
in solar
capability.
industry,
Within
for
those 40 billion, like,
specifically
how much
retail and
would be that
pump,
time in
we
India?
always say
Something if you can, like,
from
talk that how much is, like,
October,
India currently
November,
and
December,
where
January,
we are
February,
placed.
and March is like solar month
No, that also
in
be
India.
difficult. See,
The
in
good
terms of the
weather,
global
good
customers,
demand.
whether it is in India
By
or
April,
somebody is
many
exporting
people
from
have
India, or it is on to
they
the
want to finish their
some global
projects. Either it's a
location,
government
we don't
project or
segment
either
it
it's
in
a
terms of
C&I
geography
projects.
as much. We're
So
not very
always
concerned about, we don't
in
look at it
last,
that way. Because
we
today
are
every
working in
major
India since 2013.
global
So
player
that's
has
what my
presence in
10 years
India one way or
experience
the
say.
other.
Always
So in
last
many
6
cases,
months,
they will
always
engage
perform
with
better
their
than the first
local
6 months.
entity, even
And
if
the
it is
good
for a
thing is
global
we now
delivery.
got the capacity expansion at right time as well. So
Understood, sir. Thank you
definitely,
so
as
much.
you are expecting,
You're
I'm
welcome.
expecting
Thank
good
you.
numbers as well.
Participants who wish to ask a question
Excellent,
may
sir.
press star
Excellent.
and one now.
Thanks for
The
the
next question
opportunity
is
for
from
me.
the line of
Thank you,
Sanjaya
sir.
from
You welcome,
Ampersand
Kalan.
Capital. Please proceed.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So thanks a lot, sir, for the opportunity.
Just a quick
And
reminder
thanks
to
for
everyone,
organizing
if you
your
have any
maiden
questions, please raise your hand
analyst
using the
conference call.
reaction tab.
So I just want to know that you have announced this massive capex of some 750 crore with Karnataka and Tamil Nadu
Mr.
government.
Archit
How
Agarwal, please
important,
introduce
how
yourself
critical these
and
are
speak.
for your sustaining the growth that you said that you will be doing?
Hello.
Because
Yes,
the
Archit.
My name is Archit
October, etc.,
Agrawal and I am
can
from
be
Steptrade
up
Capital.
and down. So if you can
My
just give a sense
question
of
is
that.
with
And also
regards to the
in that
margin
context,
profile. As you have
will your
mentioned, the
asset turn
margin profile
ratios
for
or
pump,
return on capital
which is
employed, etc., will
12
be
to
different
15%. So
with this
what is
kind
the
of
margin
capexes?
for other
Or
segments?
are you getting into a new area
For wholesale,
of
we are
businesses, or you are
expecting
maintaining,
10
you are
to
continuing in your same
11%. For
area of
retail,
business
we
in
are
these to
expecting
stay?
15 to 18%.
So I'll answer the second part first. Broadly, we will continue to focus on what we are currently
And
doing,
what is the
and we will
current
continue to look
capacity?
for anything
Like
which is
you have
adjacent to our
added 400
capability,
megawatt
whatever we
TOPCon
feel is
line. So
adjacent, right? That is
it
one.
is
The reason we are
already
looking at
commenced
these
or
geographies is that is where the current
Yeah, it's already
ecosystem is in
commenced.
terms of
So
supply, in
this month
terms
we
of
are expecting
skilled
30%
people, in
output.
terms of
In next
manpower.
month we are
So right
expecting
now, because of
60,
what has been
60
happening
to
over the years, whether it is in
50
terms
to
of defense tech
60%,
or
and month
aerospace and all
after we
these
are
areas,
expecting
there's a lot
full
of
capacity
maturity in
because
terms
we
of
need
supply
some
chain
ramp up
and
time.
skilled people in these
okay.
parts of
And
India. So
this
that's the reason we are expanding in
next
these two
phase
areas
of 400
currently.
megawatt, it will be commenced from Q1
Understood. So if you can
FY27,
just tell
right?
me
Yes,
when you
yes.
mentioned that you
Okay. And
sustained
1
growth
gigawatt
momentum, do
solar
you have any
cell,
particular time frame that
when it
you
will be commenced?
wanted to highlight?
From the
We
date of
can't, we're
approval,
not
it will
giving
take 18
forward
months.
guidance, but normally we have
Okay.
visibility of at least
And
18 months
the
and in
So
cap
we
some
are
cases
expecting
24
in
months,
by June
because we are always
27.
working on something which
okay.
we
And the
build,
capex
it has to
900
go
to
through
950 crore
qualification,
you have
and only then
mentioned.
can you make and
So
deliver. So we
you
typically have
will take the
rolling,
date or
meaning at any
how
point
it
of
will
time we would
be?
have at least an 18-month
Um,
forward visibility
so
on what
we
we
are
are doing.
expecting
It is based
to
on that
invest
that we can say that we
30%
can maintain
in
the
a
momentum.
business and 70%
Thank you.
will
Thank you.
come by
You're
debt.
welcome.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
The next
That's all
question
from
is
my
from the
side.
line of
Thank you.
Aman from
Yes.
Institute
Thank you.
Invest Management. Please proceed.
Mr. Neeraj Joshi,
Good afternoon,
please
sir.
introduce yourself.
My first question is around employee
Joseph,
count.
sorry.
If you can talk about what is the number as of today in services, as well as what is the number today in manufacturing, and where do we see this number in the next 1 to 2 years?
Maybe
Sure.
Mr.
So
Joseph
we are
is
little over
on mute.
2,000 people,
Maybe. Yes.
right, broadly at a very high level.
Yes, sir.
And in the 2,000 people, about 40% would be what we call manufacturing, that
Neeraj,
is
I
DLM, and people who
couldn't
are
hear you
full-time
properly.
supporting DLM. This is what
Can
we
you
call
hear me now, sir?
manufacturing engineering.
Yes.
And the
Yes, sir.
ER&D
So
would be
I
about
don't have a question,
1,200,
so only a
but in the
suggestion.
ER&D, they also support DLM, broadly if you look at it. So you can take it as a
Yes, please.
60-40,
Yeah,
40
and that is
dedicated to
that
DLM. And in
it
the
is
60%, some of them also support from a
very good that we
design
are
activity to
venturing
the
into solar
DLM.
cells and
So
the
that's
battery energy
where we are on
storage.
the employee count.
But as somebody has pointed
And
out
the
earlier,
question was also, where do we see this
our
number
competitors have already
for both the
started
segments in the next 1 to 2 years?
the capex on this.
We
So
will
I
see this
think we should
probably, again, it
maybe
boils down to guidance.
work on this
So we will,
as
this
fast as
number will
possible.
continue to grow.
Only
We've
a
grown
suggestion.
substantially. If
No
you look
question.
at the last 2-3
Yes,
years, there's been a
yes, you are
substantial
correct. And
growth.
we are
So
also,
it will
our
be probably,
top
like I said
management
earlier, if
also
you look at the
working
last
closely with
year or
government.
two, if you've seen the
And the
scale
good
up in
thing
our
is we
DLM.
already have
So
our
I think
contracts
that should
done
also have an impact
for
on the
long-term
employee
contract done
growth
for
in
the
the same
local solar
ratio.
cell availability with
So say if the
Jupiter,
number of employees
and
double
also
to
for
say 4,000 in
TOPCon
next
solar
1 2
cell,
years, you
we
think the
already
ratio will
getting
be
regular
60/40
supply
only,
from the
or the
local
ratio
market
will switch?
because of
Yeah,
our
it will be
experience in the
somewhere there
industry
because it is
and our
since it is
relationship with
basically very
different companies.
it's a high mix
But in
manufacturing. It
meantime,
has a
we are
lot of
also
design and
eagerly wants to
engineering
start
content.
solar cell for
So we
now
expect
as
that
soon as
like
possible.
60-40 or maybe
Okay, sir.
a
That's all.
50-50 kind of a mix.
Thank you.
Sure, sir. My next question is, as of today, we have
Mr. Achut,
expanded our
but
DLM
you can
facility
speak
in the
next.
last few months and few quarters. But without the MOU land and without the MOU capacity, what is the peak capacity, peak revenue we can do from the current facilities in DLM?
Maybe
So
Mr. Prabhat
thing
is
is
on
we are
mute.
also adding
Hello,
some
am I
other
audible
facilities.
now?
We're adding one more
Yes.
facility in the next few months in Karnataka, which will be very similar to the one we already have. We should have that up and ready in
Hello.
the next couple of months
Yes, Achut.
to add to our capacity. In terms of capacity utilization, I'll let Rajesh
Yes.
answer that.
Yeah, we're expecting the capacity utilization
Hello.
is currently is about
Yes.
Sir, you are
80
audible.
to
You can speak.
85%.
Yeah.
So
So
similar
actually, if we
like,
see in even in
growth
Twitter,
we are
like lot
expecting
of
in the
people are
coming
saying like
quarters as well.
we are going to get over capacity in FY27.
So, sir,
Can you
we are
provide your view
roughly
on that?
doing
Like,
in DLM,
is
whatever
it true or
number. So then 80-85% obviously
See,
new plant will get
if
added.
we
But
see, I
peak
already
revenue
said many
growth can be
times in the
600
past,
700
if
crore
we
in
see
DLF.
the
Is that
China
understanding?
overall energy
Again,
demand
that
for
is
20
leading
years, it
to
was
forward
400
guidance.
gigawatt
What we are trying
active
to
power
say is we are
station
adding one
requirement.
more
And
capacity
currently,
which should
India
be
is
up and
also
ready
on
very soon.
400 gigawatt
Very soon, as
active
in
power
maybe end of
requirement.
December or maybe early
So
January. So
before
that
20 years,
will
China
be a
was there, and
substantial increase
currently
in our
China is
capacity.
sitting on
That would
2,800
essentially mean
gigawatt
in
active power
12 months
requirement
we have
for
added
the
these
energy.
capacity, these
That means
facilities.
within a 20 years, our overall
And we
energy
will continue doing
consumption
that. While
for
the larger
India
one
will
is,
go up. Even if
while
we
the larger
don't
one
touch at
happens.
China, still we need 5 times more energy
Sure, sir.
than
Final
where we are
question
at the
on
moment.
senior
So
management
every year
hiring. So
and
we
year,
recently added
year
a
in,
couple of
year out,
senior
our
people in our
energy
team. If you can talk about
requirement will
how the
grow up.
integration
The
process is happening and
current
what is the plan of bringing
setup, the government
in
of
the
India is
addition for the
looking for
next couple?
500 gigawatt for renewable
Sure.
energy.
We
Out
have
of that,
a lot of
300
senior
gigawatt
people
from
joining
solar.
us
That
very
means 40 to
strategically.
50
We are hiring
gigawatt
both in India and
solar
outside of India.
renewable
And
energy
we
we are
continue to do
expecting
so in
every
both our
year
segments.
from now on.
And
From
again, like I
recent
said,
report
we
for the solar
are
panel,
very design and
including the
engineering heavy
recent
for the DLM.
capacity
So we
expansion, there is
look for people,
120,
and it is not
230
something which is very
gigawatt
commonly
solar
available.
panel
So
available,
we are very actively
manufacturers
looking.
available
We have
in
added quite a few,
industry,
and we will
including some
continue to keep
monopark
adding
facility,
senior
and some
management.
maybe have a poly as well. Very little, but some.
Okay, thank you.
So the
You're
overall
welcome.
energy requirement will,
Thank
and
you.
also
The
this
next
is a
question is
nameplate
from the line of
capacity.
Anand
So
Jain,
the actual
an investor.
production
Please
from the
proceed.
so whatever the nameplate capacity, the actual production
Thanks for
is
the
usually
opportunity, sir,
70
and
to
congratulations on a
75%.
good set of numbers.
So of course
One
India
question that I
have
have is
20 to
we haven't seen service
30%
revenue growth in these
there
quarters.
will be 20
So
to
when do you think our
30%
service revenues can start
additional
growing
capacity,
again?
but
A.
each and every month there is
My
not
second
a
question is,
symmetrical demand.
I
Like
mean,
6 to 9 months,
most of
India
whatever
need,
you're saying, we
say like
understand that you
it's
can't
not,
take client
if we
names,
need a
but
50,
I mean, if that is the
48
kind of
gigawatt
information,
requirement
like for
every
example, a
year,
company
it's
of
not
our
like
size
4
doing around
gigawatt
500-600
requirement
crores in
coming every year,
revenues,
every month.
it becomes very
Some month
difficult
it's
when you
coming
say
6
40 billion is
gigawatt,
a
some month it's
addressable
coming
market
3
size.
gigawatt. So the
Can we
companies
just
who
try to be more
doesn't have a
precise about what we are
diversified
trying to address
portfolio,
here?
of course,
I mean,
they may have
and
few
then, like, you are
months
not even ready to
or few
bifurcate between
quarters
engineering and
not good
high-tech.
performance,
I
and
just
few
don't know how
quarters
can
will
one
be good
appreciate the
performance.
work that we are
But
doing if
company
we
like
can't even,
APS,
like, give the
who have the
level of
diversified
details which are
portfolio,
expected. And finally,
they can
feedback on
maintain each
presentation.
and every
So that
quarter in
you
and
could have just
out
given a
at least
statement and not given a
what they need.
presentation. Because your presentation was just presenting numbers in a different way, which I think there are a lot
Okay,
of websites which
thank
can
you.
do better than that.
I
So if
mean,
you can give
are the
qualitative
margins
data, share
sustainable in the
qualitative
near
data in the
future?
presentation, that would help investors
Margin, of
understand
course,
what we are
there
doing, the
will
way we are
be,
doing.
there should be some
Finally, on this
pressure on the
capex of
margin
500
for
crores and
upcoming years,
300 crores that
but
you have
it will be
that you have
adjusted
announced,
by the
can you
top
share
line
in
revenue.
terms of,
And as long as we are
segments
entering in
where,
the
or
vertical
rather, like,
integration, the margin
phases?
will also
When can we see these different
will
phases
be
of these
increased
capex
also.
coming in? And when can we see,
So for
like,
next,
do we
I
expect revenue
believe from now
recognition
up to
or
5
revenue
years,
realization from the capex happening once the
Indian
500
renewable
crore is
energy
completely
margin will be
deployed or the
sustainable.
300 crore is completely deployed? Or can we see it,
Yeah, thank you.
in phases,
That
the
answers my
revenue
question.
to start flowing from
Yes,
this?
thank you.
If you can answer that. And from the current set of, the management indicated that, we are at 80% utilization levels now. With the new facility that is coming up, which is outside of this capex, what can be the peak revenue utilization?
Got it. Okay. So feedback taken on the presentation, we will work on that going forward. Now, in terms of the ER&D revenue, some of the projects
From the June
some of these are
20, like
fixed
see,
projects,
there
so
is
we will hope to
already
finish them
ALMM
in the early part
requirement
of
now.
Q3.
So
So some of
from
those
the
revenues
June
will reflect in Q3.
2026,
Then in terms of
it
the
is not
additional
going to
capacity,
change
what
so
we are
much
adding,
because
that should
still there will be
incremental
C&I
one which we are
segment
adding in the next
and
few
some
months,
personal
that should
project
probably give
will
us
be the
some
solar cell
yield
will
in
be keep
Q4
imported.
and going
Because
beyond
currently
that.
also
Now,
the
in terms of
rooftop
incremental on the
projects
larger
are under
ones, they will
ALMC.
definitely be in
The
phases. We
pump
will be probably
projects
doing it
are
across
under
3 phases.
ALMC.
And as each
only the
phase
bigger
is
projects,
implemented, there will
which
be
is from
the revenue will be
the
accredited.
say like Coal
Right?
India
And the
and
other
the
question you had
NTPC,
is in
those
terms of
projects will come
giving
under
you data on
ALMC
how to
from
understand it. I
2026
think,
onwards,
like I
which
said,
APS
segmentation is
is
difficult
not
for
doing
us,
at all up to
and
now.
we are
So
also trying to see
for
what is the
us,
best
there
way
will
to
be not many
communicate this,
changes, but
and we will
overall
also see
market,
is there a
yes,
better way to
there is a good
communicate in
demand
terms
of
of
local solar cell
segmentation.
in upcoming years. We
Sir,
don't
one
have any
question is on the
exact
service
numbers, how
side, growth on the
many
services side.
manufacturers
From when can
are
we expect to see
planning.
that?
There are many people saying they are
Services
planning,
growth is
but
also
how many
happening.
will
It is
be
not like it is
executed
not
within
happening. You
next
will
12
see
to
that in the
24
coming
months?
quarters,
That
they will
will
continue to
be
grow on
very
that side as
important.
well.
But the
But we have very
overall, if we
consciously
have 80
using some of
to
our
90 gigawatt
ER&D capability to
capacity
drive
of
the
solar
DLM.
cells,
Right?
we
That
do
is
have a
where we see
ability
more
where
because, like
everybody
Sachin
can
said, we're
make
very
a good
rapidly
margin
pivoting into
as
DLM.
what
So
business
we
needs.
use our ER&D also
But
to
currently, we have
help us
only
design and engineer
20
newer
gigawatt
products. So that becomes
running
our priority.
capacity as per
So for us,
the
priority
recent
is if we need capacity to drive DLM,
2025
we will use our
running is
ER&D
15,
capacity to
but
drive
then
our
few are
DLM.
coming.
And ER&D
So
will continue
25
to scale
gigawatt is
in its normal way.
what some reports saying.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for responding. And all the best.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ajay from
We have
Hedgehog
Mr.
Investment.
Sandeep
Please
Kaur
proceed.
to ask the question right now.
Thanks for the
Uh,
opportunity. I just wanted one clarification, like, because in the manufacturing division, like we have mentioned that we
Sir,
have
you are
visibility for next 18
I am
to
Sandeep
24
Kapoor,
months.
not
So
Sandeep
just
Kaur.
wanted to understand, like,
There
the
are
current
three
run
issues
rate
that I
which we
have
have in the
I'd
manufacturing
like to
business.
address to the
So,
management.
was there any
Uh,
one-off
will you
large
be
order
able
which
to
contributed
maintain
to
your
this,
margins
or should we expect this run rate to
similar
sustain?
to last year, or
Just
will these
one
margins rise?
clarification
That's
on
the
this.
first question.
And also, like, the larger part of the question, like
We
on
will
the
maintain, and we are
CapEx
pushing
side,
for
like
the little bit
we
better
have like
performance
300 to
than the
500 crore
last year.
CapEx which we have. So
Sir,
on the
can you be
current
more specific
new
with the
manufacturing
numbers?
plant which is going to start by this maybe Q4 of FY26 and which is also
So
progressing as per
I will
schedule.
pass it
So
to
how
our
much of that
CFO. Maybe he will
CapEx
be
has been
right
deployed in
person.
this
But
plant
overall, I am
and
expecting a
how much
better
do we
year than
expect
last
going
year.
forward?
Kalpesh, you like to
And
say something?
second question is on the
Hi Sandeep, how are
services.
you?
Sir,
I'm fine. I'm an
services
investor
revenue
in your
has been
company, and
somewhat
I
lumpy
look forward to
in
grow
my
with you.
understanding.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely, absolutely.
maybe
We
you can
also would
explain
like,
the nature of
everybody
this
grows with our
business and
company.
what drives this
So I would like
variation,
to answer your this
and
question
how
about the
should we
margins
expect
going
going
forward.
forward this
So
lumpiness,
right now, as the Nikul
and
bhai said, that pump
also on
we have got
improvement
margin of
here,
about
how should
13
we
to
look at that?
15%.
Any
Wholesale has got
comment on
about
that
10
will
to
be really
11%.
helpful.
And retail has got about 15 to 18%.
Got it.
And this
So
margin has
again,
sustained in
when
the
we
last
said we
3
had 80
quarters.
to 24
And going
months
forward also
visibility,
in the
these are
next
also
3 to 4
industries
quarters,
and
we
customers we've
expect
been
the same
engaged for a
amount of
while.
probably wholesale can go
So
down a
is
little bit
this something
because
which
of the
is lumpy
competition.
and which will
Probably
like
say
a
from right
spike,
now it is
and it is not like it's
10.50,
your question
10.75
is,
right
was
now.
it a
We can
one-off?
go down
So
to
like I
10%
said, these
max,
are things
but
we've been
not more
working
than
on.
that.
And
In
in our
pump, we
business,
continue
you
to
have
maintain the margin
to
because the order book that
design,
we have got the
engineer,
margin, in the
prototype,
next 6 months
qualify,
that we are going to
and
get.
then start getting
And
into
for the
volume
retail,
production.
will
So that
definitely have
momentum
good
will
margins
continue.
because
So that was one of the
retail and CNI
questions.
have got good
The other
margin of
one was
about
on the
15 to
capex.
18%, which
So this
we continue
capex
to sustain
definitely
for
will
the
be
next
like
3
I
to
think
4
Rajesh
quarters.
has already explained how much we are investing in the
Can I
immediate
continue
few
with my
months.
second
So that
question?
will be
Yes,
accredited
please.
from later part of Q4 into the
Considering
following
that
year.
there's a lot
And
of new capacity coming up, whether it's Wari,
major part is
nearly
coming
every
in the
player is
coming years.
expanding.
in the coming years. Major part is
So,
and your other question is on the
what
services
is your
revenue.
company's
Services revenue, like I
future
said, if there are
strategy?
some fixed bid projects and so
Would you be
on,
dependent more on
we need to
tenders,
wait for
or
some
would your
acceptance. So you
strategy
will
be
see in the
more focused
Q3,
towards
Q4, there will
actual
be some
users
momentum on
in your pump
the
business?
ER&D side as well.
Good question, Sandeep. Nikunj here.
Understood, sir. And
See,
sir,
India,
one last
as I
question, like,
said, as a
because
India,
we
we have
cannot
40
take
to
maybe
50
customer
gigawatt
names and
every
all,
year
but
requirements.
maybe if you
So
can elaborate on the customer
30% requirement comes
diversification,
from
like
the
how much
residential,
of our revenue is
C&I and
currently
pump segment.
concentrated,
Another
and like
70% means 35
linked with current
gigawatt
new
comes
capex
from
which
the
we are going to
ground
deploy.
mounting
So
projects.
are we
So as a
seeing traction
APS,
from new
from this
customers
quarter,
across
we have
maybe new
started
geographies or newer sectors, sectors,
the
or is it
salespeople
like
who can
just
go
getting
and speak to
concentrated
the
into the
project
existing
developer.
customers?
Because until
Maybe if
now,
you
our
can
capacity
elaborate on the
was
customer
always
diversification
occupied
part, that will be
for the
really
remaining
helpful to understand the
35% of
growth
the market
prospect
share,
going
like
forward.
residential, C&I, and
So
pump
we
project.
have
And
existing
it is
customers
always
and new
easy
customers.
to get
With the
50
existing
megawatt
customers, we are
order
always looking
and do
to,
your turnover.
one,
But it is
go to new geographies,
always hard to do
also going to
50
new
kilowatt,
product
100
lines, because
kilowatt
many of our
projects,
customers are
and we have
large
done
customers
that
across
very
both our
nicely. And I
verticals.
must say,
So it's
I must
also
congratulate
geography,
our
additional
team for
product
that.
lines, and
And
new
that
customers. It's a
ability,
combination of all
again,
of that,
we
which we
are working
continuously
in
do.
very limited states. Example for residential, we are just doing in Gujarat, Rajasthan, and Maharashtra.
Got it,
But
sir.
that we can expand to so many states in coming
Thank
times
you. All the best.
very easily, because we
Thank
have a
you.
good exposure
Thank you. The
working
next
in
question
this.
is from the line of
Earlier we were
Srikanth
just working
from
in Gujarat.
Sam Capital.
We have
Please
added
proceed.
the Rajasthan, and then we have added the
Yes,
Maharashtra.
please.
So that we can, that division itself can grow for next 3 to 5 years easily. Which for other manufacturers, if they want to come in this segment, it takes easily 2 to 3 years or 4
Yeah,
years.
thank you.
But for
So yeah, we are
APS
working with
to
a couple
grow,
of aerospace
to go
companies,
in the
and
ground
we
mounting project
expect,
supply,
we've
it
been
may
engaged
take
with them for
two
a few
good
years,
salespeople, and
and
then
we
that's
hope
it.
in the
Because
coming
we are
years
in
that business will scale,
we are in
because
manufacturing
it's
since
also
last
very
12
adjacent
years.
to what we are
We
currently
people
doing in
know
the
us
high-tech industry in
as a
terms of
brand.
capability.
We have so many solar panel installed in country
medical
since
device.
last 12 years,
We are
and
in
they
the
are up
segment
and
of
running
industrial
as well.
electronics. Whether this
Just
caters to
only
medical
difference
device
will be
or
they were
something
100
is going
kilowatt
happen.
So when
job,
we say
and this
industrial,
is
it
going
also
to be 1
includes medical.
1 megawatt job.
Anything that we
So
classify
we
that under
as a,
industrial
we have
electronics. So that's an
66%
industry, again, we've
market
been
share
working
is
on that
open
for
for
several
us
years.
to expand.
And one final question is, we have
And
collaboration with IISc
for
Bangalore
us,
relating to nanoscience and
to
engineering.
keep the
Can you give
1.2
business update? What is
gigawatt
happening? What is the growth
capacity
happening?
busy,
What is the future
I
of
don't
this?
feel that challenging at
Sure.
all
So we work
in
with
even coming
several
years.
academia, IAC,
Because we are one of the
CENS, which is
pioneer
Center
solar
for
panel
Monitoring. We've
manufacturing
been working
only.
with them. We've been working with a couple
And
of
we
other
don't
education
have,
institutions.
like,
So we
we
do a
don't
couple of
want
things. There are
for
some
now, like
very
within 3
fundamental
months or 6
research
months, we don't
projects
want
where
like
we are
5
working
gigawatt
on
or
where
10 gigawatt.
it is a new process or a new technology. We
That's
do
a very
that.
good strategy.
In
So
some
basically,
cases,
you're
if
saying
we
your
are
focus
developing
is going to
something and we
be
need some assistance, especially
your
in terms
own
of
end
materials, in
consumption in
terms of
residential
testing,
and
in
pumps.
terms of
Is my understanding correct?
what we call
And we
calibration and so
will
on.
grow
We do
in
work with
ground mounting
academia
supply.
wherever that
Now,
capability
so
and those
what,
facilities
see,
are
if we
available,
see overall portfolio,
including
because
what we call
until now we are
characterization.
400
So
megawatt
we use some of
capacity.
their labs
So 400
wherever
megawatt
they are,
will
and we work
easily
with them.
consumed by
And
residential
one final question relating to
supply and
cybersecurity. We have collaborated with Electric IQ.
and the
So can
pump.
you see whether
So even
there is
we are
new orders
adding
coming or any new
400.
order
So
pipeline to us?
even we do up to 600 megawatt for our
So yeah, we
in-house
work on that as
projects
part of our
for solar
part
pump
of our high-tech vertical. We do
distribution
have some customers
and
in
the
the cybersecurity space,
residential. Still,
and
we
we
only
also use
may
some of the
required 400
technology
to
in what we
600
develop, because a lot of
megawatt
what we
capacity, and
develop has
which
to
we
have
still
a
have a 6
security
months
layer.
to grow
So
that
we not
division, and
only
that
work with them,
holds
we also use some of
66%
these
of India market.
technologies within what we are building.
Can I continue with my
Thank you.
questions, or should I hand over to
You're
somebody
welcome.
else?
No,
I
no,
have-
no. You
Thank you.
you
The
can.
next question
You
is
So
from the
can you give
line
me
of
a breakdown
Rupesh from
on
Long
what
Equity
kind of
Partners. Please
percentage
proceed.
is pump? How much
Yeah. Hello,
is
sir. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
ground
I think my
installation? How much
first
is
really
residential?
comment
What kind of breakdown do
follow
we
on
have?
from the previous participant.
So,
I think
In
Titan
terms of
Engineering and
the
Automation
turnover
Limited
or
is
in
one of
terms
our
of the
competitor. I
profit
don't know if it's a
percentage?
competitor, but at least it's in the same
Both.
field.
Okay.
And when I
In terms
go
of
to
the
their
turnover
website, right, sir, I
until
can
these
see
first
vision-based
6 months,
inspection system. I can see photos of so many
I pass
products.
it to
I
Kalpesh
can
because he has the exact
look at
figure,
their
so you
assembly
can get
line,
the correct
and
information.
yes, Sandeep,
there
this
are
is
so many
Kalpesh here
more
again.
details, right, which kind of
So
gives
in
the
pump,
feel
we
of the
had got a
business, the
turnover of
complexity of the
102
business.
crore, 0.89 lakhs
And I think
in April
Titan
to
Steel
September
is
quarter. In
significantly larger
wholesale,
company
that is
than
our
us.
distribution side,
And if
we
they
have got
are
a turnover
willing
of
to
about
share,
165
then I
crore.
think
And
I would
retail,
request
our
you to
EPC
relook at our
business, retail
policy of
rooftop
not
residential
sharing
rooftop
some of
and
these
CNI
details.
has a turnover of
Because I'm
about
sure they
24
also
crores.
have, customer
With a
NDAs
margin,
and other
as I
things.
said earlier,
So that is
the
just the
pump had
first
given a margin of
sort of
about
like comment.
15%, which is a profit of about
Then my
15.5 crore.
question, sir, is
And wholesale
in export
distribution
markets,
department
right? So
has
these
got a
customers who
margin
have
of
said you have said that your
10.25%,
geography
which has got a
agnostic.
profit of
But where are
16.99
we on the
crore,
qualification
about 17 crore,
processes
And retail
for
has
let's
got
say
a margin of
semiconductor customers
17%,
or
which is
consumer
about
electronics customers? Some
5.75
idea you
crore.
can
can give that will get most of the qualification in like 6 months, or
Nikunj, I
1 year or 2
am sure
years.
I'm addressing your
Most of our
marketing
offering
team.
will be qualified. Some
What is your
qualitative comment
strategy? Would
around
you
that.
have your
That
own
would be
teams in
one
place
question.
for
The
marketing,
second
or will
question,
you
sir,
do it through dealers
a lot
and
of these products that we
self-appointed dealers
supply,
or
what is
wholesalers,
the
or what is your
replacement
strategy,
cycle for
marketing
these products?
strategy going forward?
I mean, are they
See,
linked when our
when say
customers
like
do CapEx,
state
like when
like
they set up
Gujarat,
new lines or new
even we
fabs,
support all our
or
distributor
some of these
in other
products
state
can
as
also be
well.
linked to the
But state
production
like
volume, that as the
Gujarat,
production
our
volume
marketing,
grows, there is a
we
wear and
we have
tear and
in-house
some of the other
marketing team.
things, and then we also
But
get,
say
repeat
like if
orders.
we are starting in a new state, say like
Something about that. So
in
if you can address
MP,
these two
then we
questions first.
support our distributor.
Sure.
We have in-house marketing team. He
Your feedback
support
taken,
our
we will also
distributor
see how
business
best we
to
can
do the
give more
marketing for
information.
his
We will work
business
on
and
that
our
for sure.
business together.
Now, in terms of,
So
the other question is in terms
Okay,
of
go on.
qualification. Qualification is a continuous process.
So
It's not a
the
one-time.
channels
So
where we,
as and
so the
when
states
you
where
come
we
up
have
with
a strongly
newer parts,
established,
products,
where we
subsystems,
basically
systems,
spend
anything,
in
it has to
marketing
get
based on
qualified. It
the
has to get
revenue
accepted.
per state.
And so that is not a one-time. It is a
So the
continuous
state,
process.
if we are
Like
doing
I
that
said,
much
we have
revenue,
visibility for
we do
18 to
certain
24
percentage of the
months.
marketing.
In that,
And
part of that is also getting qualifications. The
Nikunj,
fact
since
that
I'm
we're
addressing
working
myself,
in this industry for
when
about
you
20
do this
years,
kind of a
and
marketing,
many of these
how many
customers
people,
also
what
for a
kind of
long
people do
time,
you have in
and
maintenance? How many
a lot
people
of this
in
process is known. So
marketing,
our
and how many
learning
people
process of this
say
was
for
many years ago. So this continues on a
overall
continuous
looking at the
basis.
structure? So
Second
are
is
you going to
you're
have
basically talking of how,
very thin
what is
structure,
the life
or are you
cycle
going
or
to
what is
have
the life of these
hierarchical
things. So different
structure
industry
for
is
this
different.
marketing?
If you go to something in consumer
See,
electronics,
when
which
the
is very fast
marketing
changing,
for a
so this could be
residential
something which
rooftop,
could be every
whichever
year,
state
or
we
maybe
active,
every year and a
all
half,
the
could
call
be
comes
sometimes even
to
less than a
our
year,
call
depending on the
center,
product.
and we
If you
train
take
our staff to
semiconductor, it is
close
a
the
very long
sales
life cycle. It
on
could
phone.
be
We
15,
do have
20,
the service
25 years.
team
But in that long
in
life
because
cycle,
anyway
there is a
for
lot of
distribution as well
refreshment,
we
there's a
need a
lot of
service
upgrade,
team. So
there's a
we
lot
use
of
we
opportunity
like
during that
say
long life
every
cycle.
50
And if you
kilometer
take
or
industrial, it will be
75
somewhere in
kilometer
between.
if
It could
the
be anywhere
or
from,
100
sometimes
kilometer.
it's 5
So
years,
when we have
sometimes it's
a
8 years,
strong
it comes somewhere in
penetration
between
within
in
50
terms of the
kilometer
product life
radius,
cycle.
we will have
So
the
each of
one
them
service
presents a
person.
different
So in Gujarat,
opportunity.
we have like
And
14 to 15 service people.
semiconductor,
But
of course, is
if
a very,
customer
very
wants
high value,
them
and
to
that's
visit,
why it is
so
a very
same
long
people
life
go and
cycle
visit and collect the documents from the
equipment.
customer as well.
And there, during
So
the
they
life
do
cycle,
both.
there's a lot of
They support the
opportunity
sales
to
and they do
work with that
support the
equipment.
actual service as well.
Okay. Just
To
for
all the
clarification,
division,
sir,
like pump
I mean,
division,
export
wholesale
manufacturing
division, and
revenue
the
is
retail
not
division.
much.
So
It's like
basically for
I
sales,
think
we
half
need one
yearly
good call
7 crore.
center and
So
we can
is
expand the sales
qualifications
for
holding back
residential. For the
the growth in
installation,
exports,
all the
or still
installation
that
happen
is
by
still in
the
business development?
contractors.
That is one.
So
And
we
then
have
the second
identified
question is, in the
contractors, we give them a
semiconductor, are
training, we
we in
also check their
the
installation
front-end
randomly.
manufacturing,
Initially
or we are
5
in the back-end
installation, we
manufacturing?
must
Most
check,
likely we
we
should be in
approve them.
back-end.
After that,
And
every
some
randomly
idea
1
there
out of 10
around,
installation get checked by our team as well.
I mean, I know there are a lot of semiconductor manufacturing
So
processes are going on
I
in
have
India,
3
but some idea
suggestions.
about some
This strategy is
sub area
okay,
of back-end
but you
line
need to be
that you
more
are focusing
proactive. For
on.
example, when I look
Sure.
in the
So I'll answer the second
social
one
media, I
first.
find your presence is
So
hardly there.
there
And
is
I
no
see that
back-end equipment being made in India. What you're referring to is
on the
probably the
social media,
OSAT,
YouTube,
where they're using back-end
Instagram.
equipment
This is what
to
people look
package
at.
and bond and
So
so
in
on. So that
the
is the
social media
differentiator.
front,
We
your
don't
presence is
work. We're not an
hardly, I would
OSAT
say,
company. We're at the
insignificant.
equipment level.
Your competition is
So
there.
lot of
Adani is there.
almost
Waaree is there.
everything we do are for global
Your
customers. So we don't
others are there,
differentiate
but I
whether
don't
it's
see you there. So
export
may I
or
suggest
we
that
domestically
you
supply to
have a
any of
team
these global majors
just for
within
social
India,
marketing,
and they,
the
whether they
social
use
media
it in
marketing.
India or take it
Thank you
wherever
very
in the
much.
world.
It's
We
a
don't
very
really
good
differentiate too much,
suggestion,
because
but
today everything is
even
very
last
globalized.
report I got
So,
from marketing team, we
so
got
what you're telling
LinkedIn.
about export
We
revenue,
are
where
already there.
something
Even
actually got
Facebook, we
shipped
have
outside
more
India
than
for a
4,000
non-rupee
followers.
denomination versus
But maybe
supplying
in
to a
some
global
states,
major within in India,
we are strong
we don't
in
differentiate
some
too much.
states
Right?
because
So
of
that is
our
kind of one good thing.
capacity was
And
400
I don't know
megawatt,
if I answered
and
all the
we are
questions. Yeah,
limited by
okay.
capacity as well.
So,
So
I
we
mean,
follow
sorry,
strongly
are you in the
7S
wafer growing
7S
part of the
structure in our
Yeah, that
business.
is
or are
See,
you
we
into
when our sales
okay, so you
increase,
are in
our
the wafer
service
growing
needs
part
to
of the
increase,
business.
our system
Yeah.
needs to
we do
increase,
both. We are
but
both
our
on the
staff
front
need to
end and
increase.
on the back
But
end. This
until
is
now, our
something we've been
capacity was
working on in
400 megawatts. So
semiconductor
if we
engineering for
cannot,
over 2
if we get
decades.
a
So
big orders
both
from even in Gujarat.
both the sides.
Say like somebody
And
comes
these
and
are
gives
all
15
mostly
megawatt
global.
order last
there
quarter.
is,
We couldn't execute those orders
some of our
because
customers
400
at
megawatt
different,
we have already
you know,
our regular
while they
orders.
go all over the world,
Maybe
some of
now
that comes back to India as well
we
for
can
what is
start
happening in
5
India.
megawatt, 10 meg, not even more than 15 megawatts order in a month. Still
I have more questions.
we
I'll
may
come
do
back
up
to
to
you.
5,
Thank
10
you.
or 15
Sure,
megawatts
thank you.
because we have already
Thank
existing
you. The
business
next question
and
is from the
channels
line of
available.
Anand
And
Trivedi from
marketing we do
Event
step by
Capital.
step,
Please
but
proceed.
it is very good suggestion.
Yeah, hi.
Maybe
My question is
to
regarding the
expand in
760
Facebook, it
crore
is not
capex
very
over the
costly,
medium term.
and also in
Given the current cash
Instagram
flows,
and
the size of the
LinkedIn.
company is
So I
very
will
large
put
number.
some
Can you
additional
talk
pressure
a bit
on
about what
our
is
team,
the
and we will make
means
that
that you're
achieve.
thinking about
But
financing
No,
this?
as our
Sudarshan,
yes,
YouTube is a
Sure.
very good
Like
channel.
I said earlier,
Today's youth is
it could
looking
be
at
a
YouTube,
combination of
and I
debt,
suggest also
accrual,
working with influencers.
incentives,
The
and some
fact,
equity,
I know your
which we are
presence, I mean,
working
you have a
on,
very
and this would
limited
be over 3 phases.
manufacture and
So
your
over the
thing.
3 phases, we
And
will
your,
evaluate as
you
and
don't
when
have
it
much to
progresses
sell.
on
But the
what would
point
be,
is that
how
social
much of
marketing
debt,
is
how much of
actually seeding.
equity, how much of
The
incentives,
results you'll
and
get in 2
accrual.
years, 3 years.
There'll be a
You
combination of all
must
4
have a
of this.
very strong presence, regardless.
Okay, so just to
You must
clarify,
have a
at
spend
this
on
stage,
social
you
media and
are
take
still
it up with
not clear how
take it
much
from
equity will
me.
be required,
It
right?
really pays.
We have
yes.
we have a
We
broad
already experienced
understanding.
well
Depending on
in
the
say like
phases, we
Gujarat,
will
because Gujarat we have
decide
very
how we
good
want to
so many
do this.
installers
Like I said, over the 3 phases,
in our
we will decide on
database, so we
how
can
much we want to
install
do.
1.5 2
Okay,
megawatt
got it. Thanks.
every month.
You're
And
welcome.
we had an influencer since last 8 to
Thank
12
you.
months
The next
in
question is
Gujarat,
from the
also
line of
some
Tej
YouTube
from Diamond
advertisement and
Capital.
Facebook
Please
advertisement.
proceed.
And we, as you said, we
Yeah,
are
am I
getting so
audible?
many inquiries.
Yes, please.
More
Please go ahead.
inquiries
Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity.
as per
Earlier,
our target. So
one
similar
of the
things we
participants
can
asked about
easily
customer
now
concentration.
start
If you
in
could put a
Maharashtra and
number to it,
Gujarat and
how
Rajasthan.
much would be the
But
top one
for that we
customer,
need
contributing to the
internal
revenue?
strength
Probably, let's say, if not top
within a
one, what would be the top
say
3
like production
clients
capacity.
contributing
We
to
were
the
limited
revenue?
by
And
production
if you
capacity
could
by
provide
that.
this for
But
both of
now
the segment,
with
manufacturing as well as service.
YouTube and
This is
Facebook,
first
the
question.
good thing is it's by postcode wise or by
Okay.
state wise.
So
So
broadly,
until now we were
60%
strong
is
in
from
Gujarat.
10
I'm not
customers.
sure which state you are
That's
in,
what we can share.
but if
Individually, number
if
1 or
maybe you
number
are in
3 or the
Bombay,
top 3 will
then
be
maybe
difficult.
within 3 to 6
So
months
60% will be
you will
from
start
top
looking
10
some
customers.
presence in that state as well.
And this is for
And
the
if you
overall
are in
business.
Rajasthan, maybe you already start
Excuse me?
This is
looking
for the overall business,
APS.
manufacturing plus
But
service.
Overall
currently,
business, yes. We do have
these 3 will be our
customers for whom
strategic
we do
and
both
MP
DLM
we are
and
adding on.
ER&D
So this
as
4
well.
will be our
Got
strategic
it.
states
Got it.
for
And one
next
more
3
question. I know
to
you are not giving any
next 3 to
specific
6 months.
information, but
Then
then
we will
if you
add
could
some
help
more
us
states and
understand,
more states.
and one of the participants touched upon this point, but if you could
Very
just
good
broadly help
strategy.
us understand, I mean,
Can I continue with
I
my
know one of
question, or
the
would you like me to
participants
go
Thank you,
back
actually
and
sir.
mentioned the
continue?
name of the
Sir,
competitor, but if you can
we'll
help us
now move
understand,
forward to
let's
the
say
Q&A section.
the
But it is
manufacturing
nice
lines
speaking
that you
with
have
you,
today, right?
Sandeep,
How much portion of their
Mr.
capital,
Kapoor.
I
We
mean, the
will be in
machinery
touch.
requirement would you be
And
meeting? I mean, I don't want any exact
can you
number, but
please
if you could
pass
help
our
us
email
understand with the
address
range,
so
maybe
if
let's say
he has a
less
more
than
question,
10%, less
we
than
can always
5%.
discuss
I mean, what is
because
the number today, and
it's
then
always
what's
good
the
to
plan ahead? Are
discuss
you
with
developing
like-minded
new
people.
products for them? If you could just
I
broadly
will
help us
put my question at the end
understand
of
this.
the
And
queue. I have I have
today,
so many questions.
Okay,
follow up on
thank
this.
you, thank
And
you.
today, I mean, for your major clients in the manufacturing business,
Nikunji, next
I
question
mean,
is
of the
from
total
Nimit
portion
Mehta
of the
in the
line, how
Q&A
much is today
box. So
indigenized?
his
I
is,
mean, how much of the
can
line is
you please explain the
made by
working of
Indian
Kusum
players, and
scheme?
how
How
much
is
is
the
still dependent
tendering
upon,
going
let's say,
on?
non-Indian players,
What
and
are
particularly
current
Chinese
and
players?
expected
If you could
tenders,
help us
and in
understand this
which
part.
states? Second is your
Yeah,
market share
so
in
the
solar
last part will
pumps.
be difficult to
Given that a
answer
lot
for a
of
number
new
of
players
reasons
are
on
getting
how much is
aggressive,
coming from
what do
India
they
and
think?
non-India. See,
What
for us,
will
it's
be
very
happening to the
difficult to give
pricing?
one number on what is our
Okay. In solar pump,
what is our
it's
share
by
in the
tender
capex, right? There are
and it's
different
by by
types
qualification
of technology,
criteria.
different types of
So until
equipment, there is
now,
a
solar
different share.
pump
So it
tenders
is,
say
it's
hardly
not easy
15, 20 or
to give
maximum
that answer. So
30
it is,
players can
since
be
we work on a
qualified
variety of
for a solar
technologies and a
pump
variety of
tenders, and they
equipment, each
usually
one is
they need
varied. So
like
it's very hard to
1,000,
come up with a
2,000,
single
5,000,
number.
10,000 solar pump experience. So
Okay, but
And that is
maybe
also
the new players,
constantly
it's not
changing
very
given
easy
the momentum
entry
in India.
for solar pump segment.
but I
I'm not
get that,
sure
but just I just wanted the
which
range. I mean,
particular
of the total
segment
portion. I know you probably might be catering to
Nimit
different equipment of
is
a
trying
different whole
to
line, but just
say,
wanted a
but
broad range of the total
current
capex of the whole line.
government
If you could
solar
give
pump
that number.
segment is
See, there are
restricted by
places where we
experience
would be
and
the sole
it's by
supplier,
tender. So
and
once
there
the
are places,
tender and
other
most of the
customers
all of
where
the
there'll
tenders
be
are
other
already
incumbents globally. So
allocated
it's
and
very
it comes
difficult.
with
It can
fixed
go from single supplier to maybe 4 or 5
In
suppliers,
the other question for
global
the
suppliers. So it
Kusum
is hard to
scheme,
say that.
there are a Kusum A,
Got it.
Kusum
Got
B,
it. No
and Kusum
problem.
C.
And one
So
more
one
question
of
on
the
the solar
Kusum
business.
C is
If you
like
could, I
pump,
mean,
then Kusum
have you
A is
supplied
like a
to any clients
PPA
in India or
agreement,
globally for
and
the
a
solar
Kusum.
business? And if you could just
So there are
help us
various
understand, you're also talking
Kusum
about putting a plant for
Yojana
solar, right? So if you could
in
help us understand, how are we expecting
within
this
PM
business to
Kusum
scale up?
scheme.
Because we see a lot of
So we need to
capacities
know
coming in
which
cell
particular
plus
PM
panel in
Kusum
India
scheme
at
he
least.
wants to know
If you
more.
could help us
If for
understand this part of
ground
the business.
mounting PM
Sure.
Kusum
So solar
scheme,
today for us is
APS
an
is
India
currently
play.
not very much
Solar is
active.
not
For residential
not just a
rooftop,
global play.
yes we
As
are,
we know, there's a
and
lot of
for
solar
a
happening
solar
in
pump,
India,
yes we
and
are.
India is probably
So
the
10
second
states
largest
currently,
solar
we got the local agency
destination in the
already
world.
approved us
So India
for
is big
the
for us as
work,
far as
and
solar is.
many of the states we already got
Got it.
work
And any
allocation
clients, I mean,
done, and some
have you
states
already
Sorry to
supplied
we are
to?
interrupt, Steve.
expecting within
I mean, this is just,
coming
I
years.
mean, this is just a completion
No, we have.
of that question.
Yeah, we
Okay,
have.
okay.
We have supplied. Yeah.
And is it possible to name,
So
or I
next
mean,
question
No,
from
we're
the
not naming,
Q&A
but I think
is
the large solar
from
players in India are known. The handful of them.
Tejas
So we work with
Khandelwal.
some of them.
and
So
our
his is,
equipment is
what is
for
your
the
take on
panel
the
part, or is it
realization of
mostly
solar
for the
modules
cell
going
equipment?
forward? So
It's at the cell
this
level.
is because some competitors
Okay,
experienced 4
okay,
to
no problem.
5%
Thank
drop in the
You're welcome.
realization on a
Thank
quarter-on-quarter
you.
basis. Second
The
is,
next question
what
is from the
is the
line of
capacity
Ajinkya Jadhav from
utilization
Crisport
we'll be
Point.
looking for
Please
financial
proceed.
year
Yeah, thanks for
2027?
the opportunity. My question is regarding the
Financial year
semiconductor part.
2027.
So,
See,
given
capacity
the
utilization
boost from
again
the
depend,
central
say like
government for the
APS have
semiconductor
a
industry, so
13-year
how
experience, and
our
we are
total
expecting to
addressable
run
market will
1.2
evolve given the
gigawatt
opportunities that
capacity
will be
at the
unfolding in
end
the
of
coming years?
13,
If you
14
can
years,
delineate that,
by
because what I
again
understand, like
after
you
6
have been
months.
supplying to
So
the
for
global
us,
players.
we
So
don't feel
as
the
the industry evolves in
challenging,
India,
but
how our
if the
role
solar panel
get
manufacturer
evolved?
who are limited by segment,
So India
like who are
definitely
just
there's a
doing
lot
ground
going on. The
mounting, or
PLI scheme has been
who are
very
just
helpful, and
doing
we've seen almost 10 or 12
say like
different
a
large
distribution
investments being announced,
only,
and
then
all are being implemented.
definitely they have to
Like we
recheck
told earlier, this is something we've been
before
doing for a long
expanding their
time globally.
capacity.
So some
In
of our
terms of
customers'
the
equipment
in terms of the
are in
realization in a
India and will
profit,
continue to come
as
back
long
into
as
India on
we
the
are
investments
able,
which
say
are going on in India
to
right now.
utilize
So it
60
definitely helps
70% of our
the
capacity,
global
we are
semiconductor
expecting
ecosystem,
similar
and helps us as well, because anything happens
profit
here
margin
for
from a
any of our
business,
global
because
customers,
we are
automatically
diversified
a lot of the
solar panel
local support
manufacturer.
and all
We
that
have the
would come
solar
to us.
panel
We get a big
supply
percentage
also,
of that.
solar pump in our portfolio,
As of now,
and
is there any
retail
semiconductor
direct
equipment
C and retail and
manufacturing
C&I
happening
projects
in
in our
India?
portfolio.
Equipment manufacturing, I'm asking.
No.
Now,
Okay,
one
okay.
last
So that
question.
will
This is from
come in,
Plus
you
Niner
are saying,
Asset
correct?
Management.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
you
that
are
answers my
moving
question.
from
Thank you.
modules into solar cell manufacturing. What strategic
Thank
edge
you.
will you
Due
have
to
in
time
this backward
constraints, that was
integration
the last
given
question. I would
government
now like
PLI
to hand the
support and
conference over to the
intense
management
Chinese
for the closing
competition?
comments. Over to you, sir.
See,
Thank everyone
China
for
is
joining us
in
on the
solar
call
cell
today.
manufacturing since
And
last
what we would
15,
like to
20
say
years.
is that these are very exciting times
We
for
are
ASM
protected by
Technologies.
the
We are
government
operating in
policy.
a very, very
So,
growing environment, and
and
have strengthened
government
our own
policy is
manufacturing
already
ecosystem
there
like
from
we spoke about,
2026. We
and
need
will remain
PCR
focused on
cell, and
scaling both
maybe
our
after
engineering
6
and our
months or
design-led
12 months,
manufacturing business. Our focus
it's
will
again, it's
continue to
too
be
early
on
to say,
profitable and
but
sustainable
maybe
growth,
they will
driven by operational
further
excellence,
strengthen
client
the
partnership, and
requirement
disciplined capital
for
allocation.
imported solar cell
For any other
within
queries or
in a
clarification, feel
country as
free to
well.
reach out to
So we are
SGA,
no,
our
we
investor
we
relationship
don't need to
advisors.
see
Once again,
how we
thank you
can
very much for
compete
all your
China,
time,
because
and wish you all a great
it's like
day and a week ahead.
somebody
Thank you.
is studying in PhD
Thank
and
you. On
somebody is
behalf
in
of
year 10,
ASM
and we
Technologies,
are
that
trying to
concludes this
compete
conference. Thank you for joining
between
us, and you may now
those
disconnect
two
your line.
students. It's a little bit bitter to hear, but this is the truth. When we see the Chinese company and the growth of the Chinese company and government support and the industry support, and it's at a different level. But good thing is we have our own policy, we have our own demand, we have our own market, and we as a APS, if by entering in solar cell, currently we are seeing the margin, so much margin we are losing we are paying to solar cell manufacturers. But the good thing is we have a long-term good supply, so we can at least getting a continuous supply. But if there will be enough capacity in coming period, there are two types of solar cell manufacturer also coming. Some who already have a solar panel facility, some who doesn't have a solar panel manufacturing, and they are just coming with a fresh background in solar cell manufacturing. Some are already contacting us for the long-term contract with them because they don't have a solar panel, but they are coming with solar cell. So in that case, the companies who will have right amount of capacity in both for solar cell and solar panel, they will have a sustainable margin long term. Example, if APS needs 2 gigawatt solar panel and APS will have a 3 gigawatt solar cell, that called right. And if we consume 70-80% of a solar panel within our business and 70-80% of solar cell for our business and little bit supply to other company, then those company will be always sustainable. But if somebody have 15 gigawatt capacity and if their utilization will go say like a 5 gigawatt or 6 gigawatt, they will start losing money. I hope it clears the answer of the question. But if there is a further questions anyone have, please pass our email address and we will address each and every question.
Thank you, sir. That was the last question. Now I would like Nikunji and Kalpeshji to move forward with the closing remarks.
Once again, I can see more than 56 party for earning calls. I'm very, very happy to see all of them, and thank you very much for time you have spent and all the questions you have asked to us. Sorry, due to time limit, we couldn't answer each and every question, but you can take our email address from Confidently Partners and please send us an email and we will answer each and every question within a timeline. Thank you very much. Thank you.